Wow, welcome everyone. I'm so excited for this. From Austria, Germany, London. Great to have you all, and thank you for being part of this webinar of self-responsibility. And I'm going to share with you Barcelona as well. Excellent. And Lake Constant, Georgia. Beautiful. So what a beautiful group. And we're going to bring more consciousness into what's happening within our own systems, and then you'll be more conscious about what's happening in the world around us as well. So as one of us becomes more conscious about how our own systems are working, that then information then goes into the field. So I want to thank you all for really signing up and for being part of this webinar. And I'm really, really grateful that, to start teaching again. And I'm always teaching in some way, but it's like now you have committed. So the frequencies will change. You will feel it during this webinar. You have taken self-responsibility to take ownership and to grow and to evolve. So now you'll feel a shift in the energy. It's totally different than the normal webinars, actually. So thank you, everyone, for being part of it. And I'm going to share with you this evening. So Sergio sent out 2 different links for YouTube, and it's the same link for Zoom. So we're going to do an hour, and then we're going to take a break, and then we'll do another hour later. So the recordings are there, and anyone coming in the recordings, welcome. You're in the field too. So we're all in this vessel together, transforming. So let's begin. So how I teach is for you to experience it first. Actually, that's how I was taught myself. I was eager to learn when this gift opened up and I started awakening. I wanted to go to teachers, and I was pushed in a way that I would experience it myself, and then I'd find the information outside, or it would come to me. So I'm going to give you soul transmissions of teachings and share consciousness with you. So I want to start off with systems and explain the most basic system. It was coming to me very strong to teach you, to make you aware of it. So that's the North and South Pole of Mother Earth, and our own negative and positive poles, the feminine and masculine. So they're very unique, very different. So the feminine is completely different than the masculine, and they're completely different fields, energetic fields, and the way they work is completely different. So I want to allow you to feel the difference of the fields. And it's interesting, I have a set of magnets that I want to just show you how it works energetically. So our vessel, our spine, our core has space in it for your spirit to come in, because your spirit is energy and vibration. We are energy and vibration cellularly. And I've always been guided to work with the physical body because all the soul information is there, and whatever is in your system from your ancestors or from trauma around the womb experience, birth up to now, it's all in the body. Past life information, it's in your vessel. Also is your ancestors as well. So I'll explain. I'm going to first start off with the polarities. So I want to work with north and south so you really can feel the difference. So as I was saying before, we're like a magnet, okay? And our system, when it's healthy and thriving, it's like this, where they will not connect, okay? So this is our channel. And this is the energy going down through our system, all the way down through all our frequencies, from the denser frequencies up to the higher frequencies, from our roots all the way through. Now, if there's something out of alignment, if there's a trauma in our system, for example, a wound in our system, it creates a blockage. And then the energy, a spirit, has to go around it or find a way around it. If there's a lot of blockages in the system, then your energetic field separates. I remember working with somebody in the States, and he was working with energetic fields, and they were taking measurements. It was actually in the military, and he was saying that the energetic field of somebody who's really wounded is 0.5 meter away from their system. So if you're really in the mind, you're half a meter out of the system. So they were saying at the time, okay, take a 0.5 meter step back into your system and you'll realign. So we are an energetic field of energy and vibration. I have a few little props here. I don't have much on the island because I'm in Mykonos, but so this is one I had from years ago. So this is our energetic field. So we are vibration and color. There's different colors. So the etheric field is a full color spectrum, and this color spectrum flows through us in many different ways. So this is the heart space, it's creation, and this is in every cell, and this is our channel. So this is the point which I was talking about in the center. Okay, so the 0 point, if you want to call it the 0 point, it's called the 0 point, creation point. Okay, now negative and positive poles are very different. So with the north and south pole, it's moving our energetic field in our system, and as the energetic fields adjust, it's bringing up different information in our system, because it's running through our whole system, through our genetics, through our cells, and will open different topics. So as the universe is aligning and changing, and different light codes and frequencies and energetic fields are coming down, solar flares coming down, it's activating different system information, different frequencies. We are frequency and vibration. Every trauma, every virus, every bacteria is a frequency, and certain frequencies will activate the root of that trauma or that frequency. So it could be an abuse frequency or a fear frequency. And these frequencies are getting activated, which gives us a chance to resolve it. And I'll show you how to do that later on. So first, I want you to feel so we'll just do a little meditation, because I want to really come into the system. So if you take a deep breath into your hearts, and I know you'll have lots of questions and everything, and let's let's drop into our systems first. Just taking a deep breath into your heart space. And let's really go into a higher state of consciousness. So I invite you, I don't know if you did the reptilian brain webinar, but I invite you to close off your reptilian brain for the webinar. We do this now. Take another deep breath into your cells. So behind, it's going deeper, another deep breath into the cells. Yes, it does. It does. So some people call it the 0 point. It's being totally present in there now. Taking another deep breath into your cells. Beautiful. Everything I'm talking about has system I've been working with, and there's systems behind systems. So I'm going to drop information in consciously, and then you're going to absorb the rest of the information, but you will sense it. Don't worry. So I want you to work with negative and positive poles now, just so you feel the energy, okay? So I'm going to open up one of the poles first. I won't say which one it is. And I want you to just simply breathe in and feel it. Taking a deep breath into your heart space. And simply observe, or not. If you don't feel it, it's okay as well. Just observe how your system shifted, or what's your new sense. How does this energy feel, or what's it doing to you at this moment? So it's a settling energy, gravity, warm, filling my left side, right hand side, joy, peace, calm. Ringing on the right side, soft, cozy energy from behind. Feels like I'm sinking deeper into my body. Right side, body vibrating. Drawn backwards, grounding. Tense gravity, right hand side, made to deep connection to earth. Now this is going to be different for everybody, okay? Vibrating in the left, in the legs, grounding. Beautiful, okay? I'm not going to say what we were just working with for a moment, okay? Now, and just take a deep breath. Okay. And now we're going to switch to the next polarity, okay? Breathing into your heart space. Breathing through your whole body. How do you feel with your body? How's this feel with your senses or with your body at the moment? And it'll be different for everybody. We're all having different experiences. Massive power, strength, also pressure, space. Energy pulls down, grounding, feels lighter and less dense. As much as my work, all this. Right, more side. To vibrate, settling. Okay, left. Okay, beautiful. Lighter. Pelvic floor. Now this is working different. Before I say what's what, it's having a different effect related to what's in your system, okay? So, okay. more balanced. It's golden light. Okay, so the first energy was the negative, feminine. The second was the positive, the male. Left side, right side. Okay. So with the genetic work, it's not working with the mind. It's not personal. There's no drama in this. Okay. So I'm going to start teaching you genetic work. Okay. So that was your left and right side. So that was the polarities in your system. And it's interesting. A lot of the time, for example, if I'm working with somebody or if they say they're organizing groups and maybe they're working with women, well, actually, a lot of the time, they would not trust their own feminine. So they need to work with their it's usually the polarity that they need to work with in the system. So, or the men's groups only, then usually they're not trusting their masculine, their feminine's taking over the system. Or the male, as I say, with the feminine, the male usually takes over the system. So there's an imbalance in the system. Okay, so that's the feminine and masculine parts. Now, each side has different information and each system has different information, the feminine, the masculine, okay? So now I'm going to start talking about your genetic place, okay? Now your genetic place is really, really important. When we're in this life system, okay? So if you imagine, I would say, the Empire State Building and the elevator, and every floor is a different system. Every floor is a different lifetime. And to enter this floor, we need to incarnate into our genetic system. Otherwise, we're floating around the place. We're not grounded, okay? And also, for making transition to the next system, we need to be in our genetic place. So it's like the elevator in the center of the Empire State Building, that to make transition, you need to come into your genetic place. So the genetic place is a field of information, which is unique for your soul. So it's got all your soul information in this field. This is a unique field only for you. It's only for you. It's got all your past life, your knowledge, your wisdom is coming through your channel. So it's coming from above. And then you've got your ancestors, your DNA, which your mom is on the left-hand side behind you, and your dad is on the right-hand side behind you, and you're in front of them as the child. So this system then connects us into the genetic information. So we need the genetic information, and we need our own information from past, for our core, our soul information, okay? And as we come into this vessel or sleeve vessel, our spirit comes down and engages with the information which is in the DNA. And then it activates. Now, when it activates what's in the genetic field. So what's in the cells, what's in the DNA from the ancestors. So when you're not in your genetic place, you're missing the grounding, you're missing this field. This field is not flowing. See the way the spirals are here as well. So these fields sort of have a glitch in it. They're like, zzz, this frequency. Some of them are turned off. And that's when there's imbalance in the system. So with genetic systems, this is not about, is mom a good mom or dad a good dad? This is only, when I say genetic systems, it's only about the energetic fields. So I want to support you to feel these energetic fields. Now, if you, I have to show you something else, I feel. I was going to do this later, but I'm going to keep moving. I'm being guided. I can feel what you need to know. So we have got our genetic place, and it's crucial that everyone, all the siblings, are alongside us, or our vanishing twins, if anyone's done that. And the reason the vanishing twin is very important, because if you're in a twin system, it means you're in two systems overlapped. And your system will not be able to ground because you're in the wrong system. So it's simply about being in the right system, okay? That's with the vanishing twin. Or if you're switching systems, for example, if you're taking care of your mom, if she gets sick or Alzheimer's or something, then the tendency is to put mom in the child place. So now you've skipped a generation and you've disconnected your siblings and everybody else, or you block them from connecting to mom as mom. So there's a confusion in the genetic lines, and the genetic lines start getting confused. You would feel overwhelmed. A sign for genetics, if someone's in the wrong genetic place, they usually say they're overwhelmed. And that is really a sign that you can to watch in yourself. If you feel that you're overwhelmed, that means that you're not in your own system. So the genetics, each family member has one of these fields. All the ancestors have one of these fields. What may close these fields or create disturbance in these fields, okay, or what takes you out of your center, is wounds. Now, the wounds are created from the womb 0 to 16, and it's here. This is where the wounds are created. If there's wounds created, it will start creating disturbance in these fields. And if there's enough wounds, the person will be taken out of their living vibratory field. So they'll go more into the mind. So then they're out of themselves. You often hear people, I was out of myself. I was out of control. I was out of myself. I was disconnected. I couldn't feel myself because there's too much trauma in the system opened, and then the field shuts down. So the field gets smaller. This torus field gets smaller, and they're out of their system. So I want to show you how wounds are created. I was going to do this later, but I've been told to do it now. So from 0 to 16, it's very important to know how wounds are created. So first we had you got a feeling of the negative and the positive poles. You got a feeling, you got the knowledge now of the genetic place, why it's important and how it flows, okay? So from 0 to 16, if you imagine you're a disc, okay? And if you've come across as a child, say mom or dad fighting, and it was a very strong fight, it will create a wound in that child's system, okay? Now, usually they're small wounds. If it's happening each day, it will create many wounds. Now, when there's a wound created, the energy of the fight goes into the system. Then the soul fragment goes up and out. That's why you often hear people, or when I'm working, or say soul fragments, bring back your soul fragments. Because when there's a wound, the soul fragment goes up and out to escape. Now, connected to this soul fragment is a thread, which then goes into the mind. So frontal lobe, but it goes to the sides of the frontal lobe. So the trauma, the fear of that is around here, which goes back here as well, goes down to the hips and to the sacrum. So when one of these are open, when there's an opening, a big wound in the system, it creates a split in the field. It creates a split in consciousness, fragmenting consciousness. And that split creates a split here as well. So the flow is not, it's irregular. It's not flowing smoothly. So there isn't a smooth, there's something out of place. There's something moving, jerking in the system. Also, when there's a strong wound for a child, it creates like a bubble in the subconscious, in the mind. It splits the mind, but it creates a little pocket. And that wound, the trauma is in there. There's a protection here because it's covered over with an illusion. It didn't happen. Everything's okay. Now, this energy is there. The trauma is in the system, but also there's a soul fragment out, and it's connected from the first, second chakra. That's where the trauma was created. So when I'm working with somebody, I'm always setting the intention to clear the energy of the trauma down in the first, second chakra. So I go in this implosion state. I was into the feminine. So this implosion state. And just keep the intention to clear the system. I'm going to go further with this. So this information is separation, explosion. You often see it if someone's smashing, if glass breaks around you, or you're smashing things, or something smashes or breaks around you. It means that there's explosive energy active in your field. And that's in the system information from that wound from the childhood. It's about separation. So it's about getting out of the body. It's about escaping. So then you have got another program in the system that if you feel the frequency again, that's how we protect ourselves in our childhood. So if I come across that frequency again, automatically I get out of the body. So I always call it like the ejector seat in the James Bond car in the movie. So we immediately get out of the body when we feel that frequency again. So from 0 to 16, systems open, and any trauma the child feels, comes across, creates an imprint in the system. Normally, a normal person probably have 200 to 300 of these in the system. So if there's something big, it creates a split, really goes deep into the system. And that is what could cause autoimmune disease or psychotic behaviors. So it's like a split in consciousness, or many splits in consciousness. So how to be aware these are open, first of all, because it's very important, because these open up all the time for us. It's normal. And we need somebody to open them in a way, because it's frequency. Okay. Now, after 16, so I'll go again. These are created from the womb up to 16. So we're like a sponge, and we're feeling, and we're being hit. Okay. And these wounds, this system will close after 16. After 16, you will not create more wounds, not unless it's something extremely strong, violent, very, very strong. It needs to be very strong to open that system again. After 16, so 17, 18, all the way up there, systems closed. So when the system closes, someone else, if you feel a frequency matching the same frequency of your parents fighting, it will open this system again. And then there's separation. So the energy comes out. So your partner, what's happening in the media, will open these systems. There's a pandemic, you'll die of a disease, a virus. It opens the systems. Okay? So I love when these systems open because I know I can heal them then till it's clear. I become more whole because I need something to open the systems up. And when they open, I can be responsible and I can change them. I can heal them permanently. I can clear it from the system completely. So I'll go again. So from 0 to 16, this is the age groups, the wounds are created. The information in the wounds is separation, explosion. So it's about separation. And that's what's happening in the world at the moment. Everyone's systems have been open and they don't know how to handle them. Okay. So if you're not meditating, if you're not in the love frequency, if you're in the heart frequency, this will go back in order. So love is the key for everything. If someone can manage to stay in the love frequency, everything will be cool. Okay. So when the media is pumping out this fear, they're opening the systems of everybody. And this is creating separation. So when there's enough systems open, I'm out of my mind. Okay. I'm out of my system. So when these systems are open enough of them, and I don't know how to handle them, I'm completely out of my system. So when I'm out of my system, I'm out of my field. This is only love. This is love. This is love. That's why love is the key for everything. Love is the full potential. Love is connected to the universe. Love is connected to creation. Love is connected to oneself. Love is marrying oneself. Love is whole. Love is thriving. It keeps the flow in the system. And then you are, excuse me, then you are creating that field around you as well for the people around you. So that's why love is so important. Not the Hollywood love, but love frequencies. So I'll go back to this because this is really important. So when enough of these systems are opening, you come out of your connection. So you get out of the body. So your spirit gets out of the body. So this here shuts down. So the spine usually shuts down. The system shuts down. You go up into the mind and you're out of the body. You're out of yourself. So what's left? The mind, fear. It's a smaller field. So you will then be connected in the astral sphere. It's an astral field. So you're not going beyond the astral field. Okay. So the astral field, I want to describe a little bit about the astral field. So the astral body is beautiful. The astral body is where you feel sensual, you feel cozy. It's almost like the oil between the senses. It brings smoothness in, it brings sensuality in. It's almost like the moon energy. It's very, you need it. You need the astral body. The astral body takes the roughness and the edges out of the system. The astral body is when it's down in your system, it's when balance comes in and you become tender with yourself. You can feel yourself. You can feel your partner. You can feel the field around you. You can feel the connection with nature. So we need the astral body. When these wounds come in, it creates wounds in the astral field. That's different. So it's the wounded astral body. The wounded astral body is up here because you're out of your system when the wounds are active. Okay. So when someone's out of their system, that is the hell on earth. That is the place where they say hell is, because they're up in the mind, they're up in the astral fear, the astral field of fear. And that's where there's a collective fear. There's a pandemic, that's some virus that's going to kill you. So that's the collective astral hell. That's their fear. But they're out of themselves. So this also will activate, because we have this in our system. So we got our imprints, okay? And then we have got in our system, we have got, say, mom's imprints, dad's imprints, the ancestors' imprints. So I may be here, but behind my disc, I have the imprints of the ancestors as well. So that's why the ancestors are really important. Now, if I'm out of my genetic place, I have all the wounds of the ancestors in my system, and I cannot resolve them fully because I'm not connected to I'm on my own. I don't have the support, the transformation keys in my system, which are from the ancestors. So the genetic place is extremely, extremely important. Native language, spiritual illness. Okay, spiritual. Yeah, I'll give you another example. So for me, if someone is, unstable or they lose their mind or are spiritually ill, for me that simply means that no one held space for them to go through their hell on earth, through their fears, to come back down into the body. So that is all that's needed when there's wounds open, when there's split minds, when there's soul fragments out. It's about us holding space for ourselves or somebody, to allow, holding love and allowing the energy to clear, to resolve, and then the soul fragments come down. So what to do? Okay, so first of all, you're all aware now how these wounds are created from 0 to 16, and then also you will have all the ancestral information in your system as well. So they're not always from you. You could have, for example, if your mom has a very strong wound and you're born with a blank, clear, all right, there will be, I don't know if this works, but I'll try it. So if your mom has a very strong wound, or the ancestors have a very strong wound in the system, which is a very heavy one, for example, when you're born, you will have like a shadow. It's not working here, but you'll have a shadow of that wound in your system, which can create a situation for you to attract that same frequency to you, which will give you the opportunity to resolve what's in your system. So a lot of these wounds are actually not belong to you. They're from the ancestors. I would go even as far as saying that 90% of the system information doesn't belong to you. It's belonged to the ancestors. It's in your system, so it belongs to you. The root of it belongs to the ancestors. So everything that's, when you're in your genetic place, that's why the genetic place is so, so, so important. And that's why I love working with genetics so much, is when you're in your genetic place, okay, even though you have all the wounds of the ancestors in your system, you can handle it. Everything that happens to you when you're in your place, you can handle it. You can transform it, because you have connection with everything, okay? You have the wisdom, you have the knowledge, you have got the power to transform it. When you're not in your genetic place, say there's another one of these on top, say there's another one on top of it, okay? This is where you cannot resolve it. This is where your spine or your nervous system will be out of order. This is where you will attract certain things or feel overwhelmed. So So I'm going to show you how to clear this, okay? This is, see what I'm doing in the background. Your whole being is right here with me, okay? We're with each other. And your being knows this already. And now your consciousness is receiving it, okay? So that's why I said this is a different way of teaching. I have given it to you on a soul level, and now your mind, your consciousness has the information, okay? So it's working. For example, I've been teaching for many years, and many different techniques I've been teaching that came true over the years, and I've stopped teaching them. At the same time, people are still have those techniques in their system when I work with them, because those systems are running in my system, and then your system has it. Okay, so I just need to drop a little bit of knowledge or consciousness in the system, and then you have it, it's running. So this is, yeah, I can feel it. Okay, let's just sit for a moment. Let's sit for a moment, because I know there was a lot of information there. Just sit, breathing into yourselves. Okay, so now the system's telling me what you need. It's so easy. It's so obvious in the system. Okay, so I'm being told to work with these. So this is where the energy went out. So first of all, I want you to reset your programming. Okay, I invite you to reset your programming, and I invite you to be conscious during the day as well if you notice yourself out. Okay, so in your subconsciousness, there's an automatic safety switch. Because when you were a child, you couldn't get out of the room, you couldn't get out of the house, so you had to get out of the body. Okay? So you're not that child. That system, that switch is still in you right now. Whereas if you come across a frequency, without a decision, without your will to get out, you're out. Okay? That's why the eyes get hazy. The eyesight gets worse when you get older, okay? Because you're out of yourself. You don't know how to handle the systems. That's why the spine gets contracted, okay? There's no need for any of this. For me, the aging process is simply coming into somebody's system when they don't understand how systems work. You can revitalize your system. You can reset your system. You can change your system when you're conscious of how to use, when your system gets wise and intelligent of how to work with systems. So whatever's open in you now, connected to a wound from 0 to 16, or from your ancestors, 0 to 16, okay? I'm just going to guide you, all right? Set the intention first, because if you're in the body, it'll work. If you're out of the body, it doesn't really work, because we want to clean the information from the body, okay? So first of all, take a deep breath in. Set the intention that you decide, you go to that switch in your system. Just imagine there's a light switch and say, no, I stay in the body. And I switch that mechanism off. You can always switch it on later if you want, but now I decide to switch it off. I'm not that child anymore. I'm in my body, and I'm in a different time and space. I'm an adult, and I can handle it. So I turn that ejector seat off right now. That's the first part. Okay, breathing into your body. So now you're coming down into your body, okay? Good. Now, whatever is open in you, as I said before, it's about separation. It's simple. It's very simple. All this is very simple. So when a wound is open, it's separation. That's what is happening in the world at the moment. People are being separated from each other. It's all separation, okay? So set the intention, no, I don't go into separation. I go into implosion. It's a different field. implosion, explosion, implosion. Okay, so I go into implosion state. So my system energetically turns into implosion. It's working, I can feel it. So now we're in implosion state. What's mine comes back to me and goes back to the origin. So this field is in implosion state now. And then it will run and it will clean these wounds, and then the soul fragment will come down. So the implosion state is the field. It's like the torus field, it's the energy field. It's this field coming in. So it's coming in. You're coming into yourself. You're coming into yourself. That's what I mean by the implosion state, okay? Not explosion, implosion, all right? So that you're creating this field. It's the 0 point field. It's the love field. Okay? And we're just opening that field. Set the intention. You just easy. Set the intention. You open this field. Your soul knows exactly what to do. Just hand it over to your soul. You're opening this field. Your energy and vibration. And there's some pieces that came out, and now they're clearing. And this is in every cell. This is in every cell. And it's true all our chakra system. So we're running in this field now. This is us now. Which is this. Okay. So as this is happening, this is something you can practice yourself each day if you notice something opening. So if I notice something opening or I get triggered, I don't go into blaming the person. So I say in a way, well, actually, I'm grateful that you just showed me what I didn't know was in my system, okay? Because you just helped me to clean one of these. So my first response is, okay, I know what's after happening. You opened up my system, okay? Now, I immediately ask the system to go into implosion. If I sense myself being aggressive or separating or disassociating, getting out of the body, I say, no, I choose to be here. And I set the intention to go into this implosion state because I know I'm going to heal this part then, okay? And then it's healed. If I don't, if I stay out of the body, I won't heal it. But I want to use this opportunity to heal it. So thank you. I use everything as a mirror for healing. So this is really coming in. So this is working by itself. So even if you're not aware of, for example, you don't have to know the details, okay? If you need to know the details, you will know the details. So you don't need to know what happened here, okay? If you need to know, you know. If something triggered you, I think you were saying about a court case, if something triggered you in that court case, just use that as a mirror and say, okay, wherever that I'm vibrating on that same frequency, it's a signature code. I simply come back from that field because that is nothing to do with you. That has nothing to do with your system. You have nothing to do with that system. That system opened their childhood system. That system opened your childhood system. So allow the energies to flow back. And it's beautiful. It flows. Everything flows. That's why you always see me moving a little bit when I'm doing webinars, because the energy is flowing through me. I feel it. I'm not flowing or moving intentionally, just the energy flows. Energy flows. So anything which triggers you in your daily life gives you an opportunity to become more whole. And then if you clear that frequency in you, then you clear it from the field as well. You'll give the opportunity to everybody else around you. So that's why what's happening in the world at the moment is giving us a massive possibility to awaken and become whole as a creator. And the field at the moment in December is super strong for this. So beautiful. So do you get a feeling the way you're coming back home, you're coming back in, and the fragments are going into the right places? Okay. Now, if the mind is very active, for example, if you feel like you're in fear or you're out of yourself a bit, okay, very easy thing to do. Imagine you're looking up at the sun, okay, and the sunlight is going through your third eye, and it's going down through your heart and down into your feet, okay? But this energy will run through your system. So this is the part where I said it comes out, okay? And the fear, the trauma is in the system. So this is clearing here. And it's going to clear the whole system now. So imagine the third eye is open, looking up. Taking a deep breath, being aware of your body and that you are energy and vibration and color. And that sunlight's coming through your third eye, and the energy's flown, different colors have flown through your third eye, flowing through your system. It flows wherever it's meant to flow. This is really allowing the divine creation to work through you. And it flows through your whole body, because your whole body is energy and vibration. And it's going to find where the frozen parts, and it'll start thawing out those parts. It'll start moving those parts. So just set the intention to come back. This is the implosion field. That's open in you now. And it's running through your whole system. And now it's really moving. Beautiful. It flows wherever it's needed. System runs by itself. Now, your system, I can feel it, it knows how to call back, how to implode now. Okay. It's clearing it here. It's clearing it down below, the lower chakras. So working through the brain, through the mind, through all your cells, through your whole system. Breathe in. It usually helps. The breathing, to breathe into your system really helps. Not too much, but just a little bit, just to increase this, to set the intention that the energy flows. And actually, the movement helps me a lot when I move my hands. I can feel it. It's like I'm supporting the feels to flow. And I'm staying with my feet and the magnetic field. You're yawning because the astral field is being cleared. If you notice yourself yawning, it's the astral field that's clearing. You're coming out of the astral field, and your astral body's coming down in. That's why you're yawning. Also, you may feel yourself burping, digestion, because the digestion is super intelligent. The digestion will, or whatever you cannot digest, it keeps that information in modules of energy. And then when you clear it, when your system knows you got the message, you got the healing, it releases the energy from the digestion. And then your system naturally detoxes the old energies. Beautiful. Taking a deep breath into your system. Now, beautiful. It's running by itself. Now set the intention that your soul fragments can come in. Breathing in and inviting your spirit into your body in a new way. Beautiful, very good. Into your nervous system in a new way, into your whole system in a new way. Your spine, mind, your nervous system. And now the reason I always say about balancing the system is because we are energy vibration with the north and south pole. So we need to balance the systems with the ancestors and back and forth, okay? So I invite you to your spirits in your left and right side in a new way, your front and back in a new way. So now your left side is supporting the right side. Left is flowing with the right side in a new way. Right side is flowing with the left side in a new way. Front is flowing with the back in a new way. Back is flowing with the front in a new way. Breathing in. Observing your new system. Arrived home. So some parts of you have come home. So it's more space. Do you get a feeling of space? I'm just wondering, what's your sense now? So clear energy, incredible, right? Clearing, getting sensitive, right? I feel happy. See, come to my body at home, cozy, as feeling embodiment now. Energy running through the system back and release the old. Calm, light feels peaceful and more present. No pressure. The third eye is normally some movement. It's normal. Oh, another thing as well, which is important to shift in your system. We have a tendency to always look for more needs to be cleared, more needs to be cleared. So I reset my system to acknowledge what I've cleared, how I feel more embodied. And then I know there's other parts that's running. So it's important to acknowledge what shift you've made, because the system is listening to you and the system is grateful to you doing that. It's like, you're not complaining, you're not a victim. It's not, you're aware of the shift, and there is parts moving. There's always parts moving. So there's always like dust outside, but on the inside, the channel gets bigger. So that's exactly it. So when you work each time in yourself, okay, your channel gets wider. You get more embodied. There's always going to be dust around the sides, because that's why we're here. So we're going to open systems up. There's always more of these systems opening up. But each time we do it, we get stronger, we get clearer, we get more strong inside. Yes, in the mind, it's going to bring up things. Okay. Slowly. Great. Now, just before we finish this one, I want to just do a recap. So in this module, we were working with, okay, so the feminine, the masculine, positive, the negative, okay. So now your system is running. So now we have the 0 point active in your whole system, okay. 0 point, your core, okay. So your system is more aware how to align yourself. Your genetic place, and then everybody else has a genetic place. As I say, that's why the twins are so important. That's why it's so important that your child is always in front, your mom's always behind. I'm going to work more on the second part with this. And then we worked with, if there's wounds from 0 to 16, okay, where there's wounds, it creates separation. And we have the ancestral wounds, okay? So if you notice yourself getting irritable or explosive or fighting, it simply means someone opened one of these systems for you, okay? Which is not a bad thing, it's a good thing, okay? So you're not a victim of this. So if someone opens your system, if something you see on TV opens you up, or whatever happens in life opens you up, it means they've opened one of these wounds, or many of these wounds. If it happens, set the intention to implode, to bring the energy back, only what belongs to you, What belongs to somebody else is none of your business. You weren't in their childhood, okay? And if they open your system, it's actually nothing to do with them in a way, because they opened up your childhood. There is an interaction which belongs to this time and space, which you can deal with and you can handle, but most of the energy comes from your childhood or your ancestors. So you're bringing the implosion field. When you bring the implosion field, and if you want to do it through the third eye, which will calm your mind down, and also bringing the intention that I don't need to go out of the body, I come back into the body because I am not a child anymore in that room at home. I can handle it, and I choose with my free will to stay in the body and implode, allow the energies to flow through. Okay. Then the energy flows. So is the black space you speak about. So I've worked with more of the genetic lines. So these wounds start healing. So you filled in, you healed some of these wounds just now, okay? Each day, different systems, different wounds will open, but now you know how to resolve it. You know how to work with them. So your system knows how to do this, okay? And you can watch this a few times. So your system, now it's your job. Instead of when you're triggered, take a breather, go outside, give yourself space and say, okay, I acknowledge something just opened something from my childhood or my ancestors' childhood. So let's resolve it. I'm not a victim. And go into this implosion state. Okay. And through the third eye. And this will really help you be more empowered and to grow and to change your frequency higher than that frequency, because then you're resonating. When you clear it, you go to a much higher frequency. So that's how you clear density, and that's how you go back into balance again. Okay. If several wounds are possible formed after the age of 16, cleared in the same way. Yes, you can clear older wounds in the same way. That is possible. So I'll see you back in an hour. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful. And YouTube, it's a different link, and then it's the same link with Zoom. So I'll see you in an hour. You did great.